Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Rivers Talks with Darla and Todd. I'm the Todd part of that equation, and this is my dear friend, Darla. Hi, Darla. Happy Halloween.
Todd. Yes.
Happy Halloween.
You too. I'm really super stoked. I love Halloween.
We've got our crazy names down here and, our little nameplates. I'm not, what's the kitten with the whip thing? I don't know what's going on with that.
It's a family show.
No, it's like Catwoman, right? Like from the Batman series. There you go.
Absolutely. Exactly.
I'm working on my best pirate voice now. Yar.
Okay.
I'll keep working on it. Okay.
Okay. You've got a little time to play with, so I would use that time wisely.
Maybe I should have an eye patch or something.
I think so. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. I when I was in Florida, I bought my dad a hat, and it was like this big pirate's hat with like floofy red fuzz and stuff on it, and like all kinds of gold things. And man, I should get that and wear it sometime. That'd be fun.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you buy your dad a big floofy hat?
He loved hats. He had a couple dozen hats, like different types for different occasions. Like when I was a little kid, he had actually I had, but he wore it, like a safari hat. Oh. And so when I was a little kid, I had different kinds of pets and stuff when I was a little kid. And one of them was like this little lizard that ate insects. So to feed it, you could either buy stuff from the pet shop. This is a real shaggy dog story. Sorry. You could either buy stuff from the pet shop, or you could go outside and catch moths and crickets and stuff in a net. So he would go around the yard with a butterfly net and a safari hat on.
Oh my gosh.
Would freak out the neighbors and stuff. But he loved wearing all kinds of, he loved freaking out the neighbors too. But he had all kinds of different hats. He had a multicolored Viking hat with horns on it. He had a pirate hat, tons of different baseball caps, stuff like that. He just loved doing it. He would go to the family reunion every year with a couple of different hats just to freak out, one of my uncles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we had a good time with it.
Oh, he sounded like a really fun guy.
He was super fun, and I miss him terribly. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. Aw.
Yeah.
No, because my parents were kind of dull in comparison. My dad was bald.
Yeah, well, so was mine. I cried about that, and then look where I ended up. So
I still have some. It's shorter than the last time you saw me, but oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
what's going on today?
If you've just tuned in, this is Two Rivers Talks. Indeed, it's not the anecdote show about family history, but we're really glad you're here. And if you're from Two Rivers, used to be from here, or want to be from here, and let's face it, why wouldn't you want to be from here? You're going to find all your fun, news, music, art, more, everything is right here on Two Rivers Talks. So what's going on today, you asked, Darla?
Yes, I do.
I'll tell you, we have a really fun guest coming back who we haven't seen in a little while, but we'll be speaking with Kate Jungwirth, the author of Mystery at Point Beach, Bushwhacked, the fourth book in the Point Beach series. And we've met her and her co-author before on the show. Super amazing people. And they write terrific yarns for young people and older people like ourselves that can appreciate the inside jokes in a book for young people. And we'll get to kind of catch up with her, see what she's been up to.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen her, and I think it was our last interview with Kate. Debbie was along with her. It was for Alien Invasion.
Yes.
And we are going to be hearing some really cool stuff about how the reception for that particular book in the series went. So Kate's going to bring us up to speed on something very special associated with Alien Invasion. But with
Yes.
Bushwhacked, that's only been out a couple of months, I believe. And it's exciting. Now the series is established.
It
They've
is.
got 4 books, they're being recognized, and I think that is very, very cool for 2 really fabulous women in our area, to be having this kind of success.
Yeah, making history and
Yeah,
and and celebrating the history of the place where we live. I
right.
I, I think it's a win-win for everybody. So
Absolutely.
always so great to have him back on the show, and Kate's a wonderful guest. So we're going to have her join us here in just a minute.
Right.
Um, what else is going on today?
We're also going to be joined uh, by Progress Lakeshore Incorporated's executive director Peter Wills, and that this is for our inaugural Progress on the Lakeshore segment. And we will be able to talk about entrepreneurship. We'll be able to talk about, I know it's your favorite. You live and breathe that, and
I do.
um, economic development and good things that are happening in our community. Um, he's a really super nice guy, and I've known Peter for several years now. And I'm also I'm the city council rep for Progress Lakeshore, and there's just tons and tons and tons of stuff that's just happening that you don't get to hear about all the time. So I think it's really nice that we can have Peter on, and he'll be back. We'll have him in our rotation with Main Street Minute and How's It Hanging, and so I'm looking forward to our very first segment today. Um,
As am I. Yes.
but here's okay. This shows just how exciting my life is. Um, Here's the highlight of my week. I get to hand over word of the day to you. So, Todd, take it away with word of the day.
Oh, my dear friend Darla, you got to get out more.
I should.
All right. Well, word of the day. You did not stump me today. I know this word. This is a good word, but you didn't
No,
get me
come
this
on,
thing.
really?
Nope. Susurration. Susurration is a Sussurration. Susurration, and it is a soft murmur or a whisper. Uh, so a quote that you pulled for me. That's going to be a good one. It must be the whisper of time as it bends over the horizon, a susurration of mortality none can escape. Dominique Browning, Interiors, New York Times, December 6th, 2013. That's like very kind of gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you picked a good one. Good one for Halloween. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
so susurration. I always kind of think of Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, and he talks about having like fava beans and a nice fresca. That's
A
a
nice
susurration right there. Yeah.
a Chianti.
Oh, a Chianti. That's right. Why am I thinking fresca? Anyways.
I don't know. That's hysterical.
Oh, well, you never know what's going to come out of me when I'm improvising. So
And most of the time I don't want to. So it's
I'm
like,
so sorry.
keep it in, Todd. Keep it in. Don't let it escape.
You know what, Darla? I think it's probably best for all of us if we just invite our guest onto the broadcast here.
She can keep us under control.
Oh, I don't know if anybody can, but if she'll certainly inject a vein of sanity into everything. How about that?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right.
So go ahead and bring her on in.
Hi, Kate. Welcome onto the show. It's so great to see you.
Hello.
So this is the 4th book in the series. What are the kids and Grandpa up to this time around?
Well, this time in the 4th book, Bushwhacked, the kids are up to their same little schemes at the campground, trying to find a mystery to solve because they're kind of bored with their grandparents. And they discover a bunker underground, and they have to figure out what that's doing there. And of course, they end up now they're a little older, actually. Even in the series, they started out age 11, now that they're 14, they kind of went from just spying on people to now there's a little bit of guns involved. So yeah, it's getting more exciting.
Getting a little dangerous out there. Yeah.
Right.
Very good. Very good. And the kids are growing up. They're 14 now, you said? Wow. That's neat.
Pretty soon they'll be driving and they won't be going to Point Beach. So we have to try to get a few more books in quick.
Right, right. Well, I mean, the characters are thoroughly enjoyable. It's so nice to kind of see how they develop over time, and then you've kind of got this ongoing storyline about them and everybody involved. Is our friend the Ranger still involved?
Oh yes, Ranger is alive and well. He has a new sidekick also in this book. We decided to put in a little bit nicer Ranger so that the readers don't think all Rangers are mean and nasty and out to get them. So.
And would that be Sally?
Yep, Sally's a sweetheart.
And on the back of the book, it says the flirtations of Sally.
Oh, yes.
So what are we talking here? Because Ranger Rick, he doesn't sound like much of a prize. So is she just desperate? Or I'm sorry.
I guess, I don't know. We just wanted to make it interesting, and everybody's got to have somebody. So
yeah.
Okay.
We thought it'd be pretty cute if she was head over heels for him, and it kind of makes her blind to like what's really going on because she just hangs on his every word, and she doesn't realize that the kids are telling the truth, and she's just all about Ranger Rick.
That's a really good conflict, though. I like that. I'm sure you could probably get a lot of side stories out of that, and especially if she's not listening to the children, probably because they are just children.
Right.
Yeah, and she's, oh yeah, her man can do no wrong type of thing. So I think that's just that's cool. She'll figure it out. Give her time.
So great. So now, you in the past books, you've kind of based some kind of real life situations or things on they were at the root of each of those books or some history. Can you share a little, without giving away spoilers? Can you share a little bit about what's underlying this latest book, Bushwhacked?
Yes. So we did a presentation even at the Historical Society meeting, and they gave us some ideas too. But we talked about like the ice cream sundae with the first book, the second book, the Pirates on the Lake, and the third book, someone saw an alien while they were farming, and we were just kind of snooping around on the internet, and and also at the park, there's all these displays, and they had some information about the lumberjacks and the WPA at the time of the Depression when they brought in workers to help they actually formed the state park, Point Beach. So we went back into the past and created a lumberjack who was going to be the basis, the plot of the story and what he was doing at Point Beach at that time, and then bring him back into the story later with amnesia and he doesn't remember anything, but it's going to revolve around a couple of things. So Debbie wanted the bunker, and I had a couple bear scenes written, so we had to have a bear in the book. And then she thought, oh, it would be great to have a lumberjack and Native Americans because they're such an influence in the county. But then I'm thinking, oh, those two just kind of, I don't know if they go together, chopping down trees and, taking care of the woods, but I don't know, using everything in nature. So we did pull it together, and we had a nice plot, and then the subplot was kind of a backstory between the lumberjack and the Native Americans in the area. And that became an idea of restoration. And at the end of the book, there's a restoration that the kids discover between all of the characters, and it all worked out at the end.
Very
It always
cool.
does for you guys. You get all these really cool ideas that are separate. I mean, just so different, but
Mm-hmm.
you're always able to tie them together nicely in the end. And I know, I don't remember if it was Pirate Pirate's Booty, or is that the name of it? Pirate's
Yep.
Booty or Pirate's Bounty?
Pirate's Booty.
It was, okay. Or the Alien Invasion. But I remember thinking, how in the world are they going to, pull this one off? And it worked out beautifully. So I give you guys, a lot of credit. You have a lot of you're very creative and you come up with some really, really cool ideas. And to that point, I mean, you think up um really interesting characters. How did you determine that you were going to bring a taxidermist into this story?
Oh,
'Cause that's kinda random. It's
it
neat,
is.
though.
It's also a little spooky, if you think about it, and I don't know. So, and it also ties in with the bear. So, with those things, just having real unique and interesting characters that get bizarre the more you get to know them. I don't know. It's just to make people turn the pages.
Yeah, very
I don't know
cool.
any taxidermists, but I did go to a place. It was actually a bar, and they had displays in fish tanks, and they had all these little animals that were taxidermied, but they were all doing really funny things like fishing or playing cards or drinking
Okay.
at a bar. Yeah, oh wow, that's pretty out there, but it's so cool. And I don't know. So that kind of was an idea. I'm like, he's gonna be an alternative taxidermist.
Now see, that's one of the reasons that these books are so much fun for adults, too. They're just not kids' books. They're for
Hmm.
everybody.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I love that. Alternative taxidermy?
That's kind of
That's
the goal. We just want like families around a campfire to pick up the book at Point Beach and read it and realize, oh, this is happening here, or this happened there, and they can actually take their bikes and go check it out,
right.
and it's fun. Hmm.
That is so cool.
I think it's one of the charms of the books. I mean, they're so cozy to read. You kind of can very easily visualize the places because we live here, and we know a little bit of the history, but there's always a little bit more to learn, and some of the quirkiness of the characters just makes it just a real joy to peruse. So thanks for continuing to do all of these. Um, Now, should we ask you a little bit about your trip to Miami?
Oh, sure.
That sounded very ominous. I didn't mean it to. What about your trip to Miami?
Well, so every year Debbie enters us into the reader's favorite contest. The first year we got a sticker. The second year we didn't get any. The third year, though, with Alien Invasion, we I think we got, what was it, finalist. So as a finalist, you are invited to go to the awards ceremony, and then you also would have your book into the International Book Fair. So we were really excited about that. Plus, it was the end of November, and you get to be in a little warmer weather, so we were excited about that too. But just before the trip, I dropped a shelf on my foot and I thought I broke my toe. So I had a lot of fun trying to get through the airport and then get to the ceremony. And it was one where you have to dress up. So we had dresses, kind of, a lot of people wore formals. I think Jim Carrey even was at one of the ceremonies for his book. He won an award. I don't know if
Oh,
it was good or
wow.
not. Maybe they just wanted him to be there for the publicity. But yeah, so I had to fit into heels in like 2 days with this black and blue toe, and it wasn't pretty, but we managed.
Oh my gosh. So were
And
there a
then
lot of people?
I don't remember the numbers, but they had every genre imaginable. and then they go up to 5th place. So that year we received 5th place. And then with Bushwhacked, we received 4th place, but because of the virus, they're not having the ceremony. So yeah, so we just get to
Well,
put
that's
in
a shame.
another
So what is your
award.
category?
Ours is children's detective series. So
Oh,
there's,
okay.
but there's fiction, nonfiction for adults, and for
Sure.
kids, picture books. Mhm.
Oh, very
So
cool.
great.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I really like about your books, and I forgive me if I brought this up on a prior interview, but I was always a big fan of John Belair's stuff when I was growing up, and he wrote the House with the Clock in Its Walls, and what I always appreciated about his stories, which I think the work that you guys are doing has the same quality, that it doesn't talk down, to the readers, your young readers, who are looking at the story, that there's a serious treatment of the history and with the characters that are in there, and it's just a good yarn. So really love that you're continuing on with the series, and I'm wondering maybe what's next in store for our young Scooby gang.
I'm wondering that too, actually, but I kind of we took the summer off. We didn't really think much about it, but we had some ideas. Darla gave me some great ideas for ghost stories, and I've also heard some Al Capone stories, some World War II stories. And if any of our readers ever want to contact us with ideas, there's a website you can go to, or our email, which is mysteryatpointbeach@gmail.com, and just shoot us some ideas, and we can maybe put those in the books, because the more people I talk to from Two Rivers, they have all these great stories and definitely book material. So yeah, we always love going off of things like that.
Excellent.
You really got to, like you said earlier, you really have to get a couple of stories in while these kids are still young enough and they haven't entered into that teenage angst period where they don't want to have anything to do with grandpa, or they like, I was always thinking that, like, Sailor and Dominic, or is it Sailor and Forrest?
They're brother and sister.
Forrest and Sailor are brother and sister?
Correct.
Okay, so it would have to be Dominic and Sailor dating. Okay.
Yep.
That would be
So-
another series.
Yeah, I could see that happening, but they could still be sleuths.
Yes.
You know what? The kids, if the kids get a little too old, you could always do a flashback mystery when Grandpa was a little kid. And maybe
That's a good idea.
maybe he meets up with maybe he's got his own gang,
Wow.
and they have a historical adventure.
Yeah, you've watched Star Wars, I think, because that sounds exactly like Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not original by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah.
That would be cool because Grandpa's kind of the cool dude.
He's a cool dude. Yeah. I would read his stories. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let Debbie know she's gonna work on that.
Okay.
Awesome.
I still would love to see a story that's centered around ghost stories.
Oh,
I just think that would just be so neat.
That would be neat. Or also maybe you could do something with the Schmidt brothers Barbershop Quartet. Back in the 50s when they were like really big stars around the time.
I will have to look into that too. I didn't know about that. So.
Well, just check out our last episode and you'll see all about it.
They could be the haunted Barbershop Quartet.
Oh my goodness. Well, maybe they need the help of Grandpa and his friends to figure out why they're being haunted. Ooh.
All right, Kate, we've talked to you long enough. Me and Todd have a book to write, so no, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
Kate, thanks so much for being on the show again. We always love to have you back, and you're welcome back for book 5, 6, and however many there are in the series. if someone's interested in getting a copy of the book, where can they pick one up?
Well, they can get one at Basil Ishkabibbles. They can also get one at the Red Apple. Until Point Beach opens up, those are probably your best bets. Washington House, and the ebook is online through Amazon.
Wonderful. Kate Jungwirth, author of Mystery at Point Beach, Bushwhacked, fourth book in the series. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, everybody. We are back, and we are going to start up our next segment here. And this is kind of a first, isn't it, Darla?
Yes, this is our inaugural segment.
I just like to hear you say inaugural.
And I have to be very deliberate when I say it, because otherwise I get tripped up on it.
Sure.
So it's the inaugural.
I love it. I love it. For our maiden voyage of interviewing with Peter Wills, the executive director of Progress Lakeshore, who we're hoping to be a regular on the show to come in and talk a little bit about what's happening in Two Rivers around economic and business development for the city.
Absolutely. And just, full disclosure here, through City Council, I am a City Council representative for the City of Two Rivers on Progress Lakeshore. And it's a wonderful experience, and I'm learning a lot. And I was already familiar with the entrepreneurial side of it, people who are interested in starting up businesses. But it goes above and beyond starting a business. It's how do you maintain that business and how do you grow that business? And so those are the two parts that I am learning more about as time goes on. And I just love it. And I've known Peter for probably about 4 or 5 years now, and he's a tremendous guy, and I really enjoy his brain. He's really really smart and willing
This
to
is
share
truly
his knowledge.
our Halloween episode, Darla. I like his brain.
That sounded kind of tacky. The rest of him is okay too, but he's got a great brain. So,
well, very good. Why don't we bring his great brain on in here so we can talk to him a little bit and find out what's going on with entrepreneurship in Manitowoc County. I know there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to him about too. Welcome to the stream, Peter. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Todd. Good afternoon, Darla. And thank you for having me. This is great to be part of the program.
We're so pleased you could join us. Thanks for coming in. Now, obviously, Darla, she had expressed, sort of what her connection is with Progress Lakeshore. I'll also say too, you've been very supportive of the work that we've been trying to do here locally with Two Rivers Biz Starts. You were one of the original people that my wife and I went to talk to about the idea for what we had here to try to promote kind of more entrepreneurship in the area. And so you've been a great supporter of the efforts that we've had here, and you've even been a guest a couple of times in some of our live meetings when we were still having live meetings.
Sure.
So I wanted to just start out by thanking you for your involvement and doing that with the city. But maybe for those who aren't familiar with Progress Lakeshore, do you want to tell a little bit about the organization and its mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about the organization. So Progress Lakeshore is an economic development organization, and really with 3 key goals that we say is retain, grow, and attract. And really that's retaining our current companies, just because that, over time we've had situations where we've lost, obviously largest employer, Two Rivers, Manitowoc, other communities. But it's also our workforce, making sure that we're keeping our students here, our workforce, our talent, and really enhancing that quality of life. Then it's grow. And that's where entrepreneurship, as Darla kind of alluded to, and certainly with Biz Starts is one of those great partners in Two Rivers, because it is hard. Over 80% of new businesses tend to fail as we go through this COVID episode. Even businesses that have been well seasoned and otherwise, typically well prepared are certainly challenged. So it's a key thing that we go through and try to look at how do we help companies grow, but how do we also prepare them for situations that they, we're not even aware of how to encounter. And then attract. It's really, I guess that, as much as economic development, a key part of us is being public relations. So certainly programs like this, but also through advertisements, through social media, through marketing, is really trying to promote the great things we have in the area. Two Rivers, your beach, that's just unbelievable. The uniqueness of the area, the history of the fishing village, the attractiveness and quaintness of the downtown. All of those type of things, really, adds to the fabric of Two Rivers, and happy to be a part of that, and how we can really help with Progress Lakeshore. We originally started back in 2003 as a result of the closure of Miro, and then subsequently after that, even with Hamilton, as that organization that could really help bring business and government together and really help a community, modeled after what's been done in other communities around Wisconsin and around the country. So we're considered private public. So we both get a majority of our funding through private sources, but we also do get some government support through municipal partners like Two Rivers, but also Manitowoc and Kiel and Mishkat. But we are not a government agency. We originally, our name was Manitowoc County Economic Development Corp. In 2014, we did do a name change, and then the branding that you see now.
Great. And as you said, the work you do really kind of spans all the different communities across Manitowoc County then.
Absolutely. And even with our work in Kiel, it actually spans both Manitowoc County into Calumet County. And one of the key things that's, a little unique on our organization is we're also really trying to help regionally. So with economic development, I always say it's not only just locally, but it's also trying to be a collaboration with our partners New North that covers the 18 county, Northeast Wisconsin area, but also with the state of Wisconsin, Wisconsin Economic Development Corp, many other agencies, Department of Workforce, other partners throughout the state. We try to really work and be a partner to those agencies, because a lot of times trying to navigate that for a business, for an entrepreneur, for even a government, can be quite challenging, to what resources are available, how to access them, and how to really make those applicable, whether it's a grant or incentive or just, to help in a challenge like this COVID situation.
Sure. Peter, how did you personally get involved with this kind of work? What attracted you to economic development?
Yeah, I guess personally, I'll say is one of those where you turn your hobby, probably a little bit like you're doing, a hobby into a full-time occupation. So I worked for a private business, a company for about 10 years, in which I actually went and developed offices and then covered the whole state of Wisconsin. After I was in charge of opening a new division for them, and then I was in banking for about 8 years. And one of my key times in banking was helping on economic development organizations, a program up in Green Bay on Broadway. The bank I was with was heavily invested in that and volunteered with that organization quite a bit. But then also SCORE, where I helped a lot of small businesses. And when it got to the point where I found I was helping much more some of the businesses at times through my volunteer work than I was through the bank, as we went through a merger, really looked at, kind of backed up and looked at what I really wanted to do, and thought it made much more sense to kind of utilize my background and expertise on the economic development side. And Progress Lakeshore was a partner with SCORE. And as that opportunity opened up here, they had put me in connection with that, and really made sense, to come in. So I joined this organization back in September of 2014. Soon after, took over as executive director, and really tried to, strengthen partnerships that were already existing, but really enhance the organization in terms of our marketing, our image, our booths like this, and our branding, and have really looked at enhancing those type of things, as well as working with our board, group of very dedicated volunteers, many of which have been, around since the beginning. And then how can we even make additional outreach to the community, in terms of the Two Rivers, the Kiels, all those type of communities. And I think that's, we've seen some significant growth in our multiple communities through doing so.
Great. And Peter, and sorry, I don't mean to hog the interview, Darla. If you had something you wanted to ask, go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, I understand that there is a county-wide pitch contest coming up.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, one of the key focuses that Progress Lakeshore does is to really try to enhance entrepreneurship. And one of those things is, is through New North, and actually a partnership with Todd through Biz Starts, is what's called the Manitowoc County Pitch Contest. So many times we have folks that think about starting a business, but there's a lot of apprehension there. Well, I don't know if I have the expertise or the business plan or the financials or, all the skills that I need. And so this is really an opportunity to try to say, hey, if you've got an idea, maybe you're already pursuing it, or maybe you're kind of sitting on the fence going, well, but I just don't know. This is saying, you know what, we're not worried about a business plan. We're saying, come out and let's talk about it. And then it's really an opportunity kind of to get you some funding to do it. So this opened up on October 1st. This is running through October 27th, where you can, and I'm sure we can share the link here in terms of how to actually click onto it and really submit your information. We'll be in contact with you and really try to have it where we're going to actually have a pitch contest on, make sure I get the date right, November 17th at 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. It'll be a virtual that we're going to do online because of with the ongoing COVID. We were hoping maybe by November things would look better. Not so sure right now. So I think we're going to do virtual just to keep everyone safe. But also then it doesn't really limit as to where you're at. So we'll have judges, we'll have a first and second place winner, and the first place winner will win $1,000 and then actually have an opportunity to go on and win a larger prize through New North on December 3rd. So we're part of one of 7 communities in the whole area that is doing this. So it's really kind of a really regional New North, partnership across Northeast Wisconsin. And we want to make sure there's great representation from Two Rivers. We know there's some great businesses ideas out there. Some of these folks are already in business, but if people are out there and they kind of, maybe they've come to Biz Starts, maybe they've seen something from Progress Lakeshore or other places and just kind of, have that idea. We'd love to hear it, love to see it. And we'll also try to work with you to make sure to kind of refine your pitch a little bit so you really have that best chance to pitch in front of 5 judges.
So how many potential applicants have you heard from? We just opened up this, literally a couple days ago. So I think we've had a few applications come in. I would anticipate, based on other years when we've done other type contests, that maybe this will be 15, maybe this will be 20, not really for sure yet. It's mainly, making sure people are hearing about it and having that opportunity to apply.
Yeah.
So I hope we have great representation, and it's a matter of with the within virtual, hopefully that gives a better opportunity. Everybody's always busy. Everybody has busy schedules. So hopefully this makes it a little easier for folks to access as well.
Right.
And what I love about this is that it is that opportunity to practice and to just, get past the lethargy of saying like, oh, I got this great idea, I'll do a business. Tell us about it. You don't get better unless you practice pitching your idea, in front of a group of peers and understand, maybe you've got a great idea, or maybe you need to refine it a little bit. And this is a place where you can, in a friendly environment, even get some financial backing for your idea and what you want to do. So.
Yeah, and I'll say the website is startuphub.org/pitch-locations is where you can go. One of the partners that we're working with is a former venture capital person, Matthew Cree, and he's actually going to help people kind of refine their pitch as well. So just kind of get some of that expert advice, and that way, not only will you be ready for the local contest, but if yours is the best and you move on from Manitowoc, county wide program to New North, you'll be ready for that contest as well. So, but yes, I guess I would, if you've got an idea, absolutely, love, there you go. Get the link there, click on that, submit your information. Me or my staff will be in contact with you and happy to kind of walk through and get you ready for this contest.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Peter. Oops. Sorry.
Nope.
Wrong message. I'm feeling my way through StreamYard here. Anyways, that's really terrific. Looking forward to being part of that. And we've done a couple of different kinds of pitch events in Manitowoc County. I just want people to know this is a great place to start a business. I mean, you've got great resources here. There's people that want to help you succeed. And it's a little bit less competitive than trying to start a business in Green Bay or Sheboygan or Appleton, for example. You've got people with a will to make new businesses succeed and work here, and take advantage of it. I think we want to do a lot of these.
Yeah, and I absolutely echo that. For number one is, yes, there's a little bit less competitive environment. Two is, I guess I'll say that cost of entry. Typically, we have a little bit lower rents on some of our retail spaces or other things if it's something that you're going to need to set up a business that you're selling things. But certainly now with the COVID, more people being online, I think you have a great opportunity too, that even if you're not paying rent, you're just selling, you're connecting something virtually, there's a real low cost of interest there as well. But again, it doesn't have to be a service or a particular business that you're starting. Basically any idea we think we can definitely have you pitch it and send me some great ideas to share. And again, even students, so there's not like an age limit here. So
that's awesome. Peter, do you want to talk briefly? I want to turn to Two Rivers news, but
Sure.
Do you want to talk briefly about the Progress Lakeshore's 9th annual Excellence in Economic Development Awards?
Yes. So our, as you said, our Progress Lakeshore's 9th annual Excellence in Economic Development Awards was originally scheduled for May 4th. Due to our, I guess I'll say, pandemic, that got pushed back. We were looking for an opportunity to actually be able to go, in person with that, potentially in the fall. As we saw the pandemic continue, we did go virtual. So September 17th, we did do that virtually, but you can go to our Facebook page or you can go to coolestcoast.com or their YouTube page, and you can still see the event and you can view this. So we had one of the most nominations that we've had. So the good news is we were able to extend the period of time for nominees. And so I think we had over 11 just from Two Rivers. Between the 5 categories that we had. So, again, huge participation. We wish we could give all of our 48 nominees an award. That's probably the biggest challenge when we try to go through our nomination committee is like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting to hear about all these businesses and organizations and people that, for each of the categories and what we had awards for. And that's kind of that number one. So we tried to highlight, we did videos with many of with the nominees. Those have been, if you look at our social media page, whether LinkedIn or Facebook, a lot of those videos are on there. As well as partnership with the Coolest Coast with Jason Prigge. But so please go out there and view that. Take a look. We had great winners and across all of our communities. So take a look at that awards information and again also to some great sponsors that we had, not only for the title events but for each of the awards as well. We're reaching out to each of those award winners right now because they couldn't be there in person with us, taking their picture, and we're posting each of those on our LinkedIn and Facebook page right now. And then once we have all of them together, we'll be releasing that in the HTR article coming up here, and also online as well.
And what were some of the categories?
Some of the categories were the economic. So our top category is the Economic Development Accelerator. So it's really that, who is that economic development person that really, had the biggest impact that really, kind of helped enhance the community. But also redevelopment. So it's, taking a building and really redeveloping it into a reuse, across the community. Then there's the Entrepreneur of the Year, folks that really, came and, started a business and really have had an impact. And then there's kind of that community organization. So that was one of the new awards that we added because we saw so many of these. Well, we really want to accept, reward people that are doing the capital investment, so we have a corporate investment award. We're looking at redeveloping buildings. We're looking at entrepreneurs, but then there's just those, community members or organizations that are enhancing the community. So, that was a new award that we added and we think that really helps benefit that. So, but I won't give it away to you if you haven't seen the award program. So I want you to go out there and watch it, and that way you can find out who those award winners are, and you can certainly see that on our social media. But again, hats off. Love to be able to celebrate that. That's one of the best parts of the year, is being able to and every nominee and award winner and runner-up was really, honored to be nominated. And so as we have this coming up next year again, please think about that as you're aware of businesses or individuals or organizations to please nominate. Again, there's no restriction that they don't have to be a member. They don't have to be something like that. We just ask that it's in Manitowoc County. So.
Right. And I really have to give you a lot of credit, because I was able to watch some of the program live, and then some of it after the fact, which is nice, because if you've only got a limited period, amount of time, you watch what you can, and then you can go back to it at a later date. It was so well done.
Thank you.
It really was really great. And I just wanted to give you your props for that, because it was, it's always been in person before. We've always had sausage and bacon with it,
Yeah, absolutely.
because we have it at a breakfast, and but then once it's over,
Yes.
kind of sort of thing. This, you can continue to enjoy it, and relive some of the moments. But it was great. It was, I was really amazed. It was inspiring to me.
Well, I'll say that some of the biggest compliments need to go to Jason and Tina Prigge, for kind of figuring out when we brought them this challenge, and they said, "Well, great, you're going to record the whole thing." Well, no, not up front. We're going to do some of it recorded. We're going to do some of it on Zoom, and we're going to do some of it live.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And they looked at us like, well, they said that hasn't been done. We're like, well, the good news is I think we'll be the first. So even as I saw other regional awards programs, in Green Bay or Milwaukee or other, I didn't see anyone that was daring enough to try this. And so, yeah, I think while there was, a couple little things in terms of timing, as we kind of switched microphones a little bit, you might pick up in there. The number of moving parts on there was a little bit like building the plane while flying it.
Yeah.
So but I also huge kudos to my marketing committee, that folks are on, my volunteers, my staff, all of those people, I'd say, I tried to help lead the idea, but it was all those folks that made it happen, as well as certainly the sponsors that helped, that stuck with us and said, yep, we're with you as we go virtual. So yeah, we really appreciate there. Yeah, we kind of missed being able to look out in the audience, see everyone's, being able to, everyone's staff and everyone's, company and all those attendees. But we're really hoping as virtual that this reaches even further, and hopefully all those companies and everything can really see all these people and the hard work that they've done and how they've helped grow Manitowoc County.
Right. So you want to tell us, let's get a little bit more Two Rivers-ish.
Sure.
Some of the good things that are happening in the city of Two Rivers.
Yeah, one of the key ones right now is an addition to the downtown. So Hartman's Bakery is actually opening a new retail front on Washington Street. So while we certainly have bakeries already in Two Rivers, this is another addition to the downtown that if you're walking or you work in the downtown area, obviously like you guys do, that now you have another, I guess I'd say access to fresh baked goods, still going to be made at the main Hartman's Bakery, but this will be just another retail addition. So that's one of the things coming forward. Another one, though, is there's progress, knock on wood, we will, make sure how it goes, is there is a company interested and, currently in, I'd say the diligence stage to look at the Paragon building. So as Darla and I both serve on a Two Rivers committee, the Business Industrial Development Committee that's kind of worked on this, this has been going, at least a 6-year project of what we've been looking to happen. So, we obviously there was a company in there before that looked to create some jobs that didn't end up happening. Now the city owns it, and we're really hoping to kind of make some some lemonade out of a lemon situation, and hoping that the company that is interested, at least right now, would bring some great jobs to Two Rivers, some redevelopment to that building, and so part of that project in terms of trying to help them get everything that they need to evaluate that and hopefully move forward.
I am personally extremely happy to see that happening because it's right out in back of my house. So
certainly, well, it's been since 1999 that building has last had employees, gainfully being used. We had Dan Wergen owned it for a little while. Did try to pursue a bottling business that didn't end up coming to fruition. So really hope that this company, again, don't want to speak, ahead of turn, but we're trying to do everything we can to assist them, be able to evaluate it, and if this can come to fruition, this will be a fantastic addition for 2020. So,
you know what? Despite this being just an awful 2020, just an awful year, we've got that development with the Paragon Center. We've got the Cobblestone Hotel, which opened up. We've got Tantrum Audio, which opened up
absolutely.
We've got Renee's Chocolate that renovated the old Honeypot location. I mean, there's a lot of good stories to be told here. Not to mention, all the great businesses that are continuing and have found their way through the pandemic, so far, and hopefully we'll make it all the way.
Correct. I was talking to Rick Carey. They had added, they had purchased the company that actually does fishing lures, kind of rubber and plastic fishing lures, Magic Products, right before the pandemic. Company was happy to get out of it, looking at 2020, things are a little questionable. We're kind of happy to get that sale done right before that pandemic hit. And during the pandemic, since people couldn't go on vacation, they went fishing. So sometimes you never know exactly how things are going to turn out. So it turns out that that's been a great thing for metalware, and then they've been seeing different demand for different products, and so they've actually expanded as what their products that they're doing and other companies that they're doing work for. So yeah, I am seeing, I guess I'll say it's uneven out there. Certainly restaurants are in a challenging time right now. Some retailers are in some challenging time if they can do online, or restaurants if you can do pickup. There's some ways to adjust. Travel industry, just don't know the best way to help them right now. Aside till we travel, but I will say that we're seeing different areas of the economy improve. And in terms of developers, just in terms of looking at housing and other projects, I think we've had 5 or 6 that have brought through Two Rivers just in the last 4 or 5 months. So that kind of conventional wisdom, like, hey, we're just kind of writing off 2020, certainly not true at all. I think what it will be is a great foundation for, if we can get back to kind of where we were in 2020 and 21, I think we're going to be making some great strides.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see everything that's happening, and as awful as the pandemic was and is probably going to be for a little while with us, I think trying to look at a positive development of that is how it's forced us all to be a little bit more creative and innovative in our approaches to the economy and things that we can do to really make the place where we live a more awesome place. And we really do appreciate your part in helping all those things to happen.
Right. Yeah, as I look at too, I remember business class looking back, and one of the key things that we always talked about is how many new businesses started in 1930 or 1931 or 1932, and it was that somebody saw an idea, they really had to hustle, and they started right then. So I think that's what we're seeing right now too. is that it is, so whether businesses are starting or whether you're willing to innovate and start making PPE, whether it's face guards or plastics or now I'm just going to, I'm going to sell my stuff online. I think there's a lot of companies innovating and taking that different approach, or now I'm going to do different foods, or I'm going to, make it much easier for pickup and delivery. I just think that there's growth that just may not be the same thing as what it was 6 months ago. So.
Wow, well said. Well said.
But, and thank you here for being, highlighting, saying even like this program, you obviously have your in-person programs and you have these, and I think these are getting greater access and we're seeing a lot of innovation on our virtual sites.
Well, thank you for that. So Peter, we really appreciate the time you're spending with us here today. Darla, did you have anything else you wanted to ask before we head into the sunset?
No, it's well, the one thing that I wanted to say is, Peter, thank you for agreeing to have this segment, because I think it's very important, because you do a lot of work through Progress Lakeshore, and you work with a lot of different communities, and you work hard, and you're a little bit of an unsung hero, you and your staff, and you're very behind the scenes. So I'd like the idea of bringing you into the forefront a little bit more, and to let the greater community know there are good things happening, and Peter will explain it to you, and otherwise, people sit back and they're like, nothing's happening. And they don't understand how much time and effort and work goes into making businesses successful. And just bringing them into reality to begin with, and then to make them successful and to go on, year after year. And so I hope this is helpful for your organization as well.
Well, I appreciate that, because it is, I'll say it's economic development. It's one of those that you're trying to basically, move forward, make progress every day. But it's only a couple times of the year that, a lot of times it even gets celebrated, or, at worst, sometimes it doesn't even get celebrated. Those projects that you do, and, it's same thing with entrepreneurs. I may work with 70 or 80 entrepreneurs a year, and only 5, 6, 7, 8 of those may do, right. May open up their business or do something that you can physically touch. But I'm going to make sure we work with all 70 of those to make sure we have the best opportunity, or same thing as companies that come to the area, as much as we talked about that Paragon project, that might be the 4th or 5th, prospect that we talk to before we really get across that finish line. Right. So yeah, it's one of those, and a lot of times there's a lot of confidentiality that we need to keep for companies. So it's, we can't always be as open as we want, but we want to make sure that, yeah, you understand that there is, company, our organization and certainly our municipal partners and businesses out there, trying to make that collaboration and really improve our community every day.
Right. Absolutely.
So thank you for that opportunity. Thanks for being able to have me share this a little bit, and look forward if I can come on future programs and give you more updates.
Oh, I think you can come back.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
We'd like that very much. We're going to have to leave it here. Peter Wills, Progress Lakeshore, and we appreciate you joining us as well.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Great day in Two Rivers. Thank you.
Bye, Peter.